All right, let's get right into it. We have all had that moment, a bad review, a missed target, or just that nagging feeling that you're falling behind. Poor performance at work can feel like a final judgment, but you know what? It's not. It's just the data point. And right now, we're gonna build a step-by-step manual for turning that setback into the setup for your big comeback.
And it all starts right here. Napoleon Hill was not messing around when he wrote this. You see, poor performance doesn't usually start with some huge dramatic failure. No, it starts small. It starts quietly. It starts with a drifting mind. A mind without a clear, burning purpose is like a ship without a rudder, just getting tossed around. This isn't just some motivational quote. It's a diagnosis of the exact problem we're here to solve.
So, first things first, we have to completely reframe how you're looking at this situation. That negative feedback, it's not a verdict. Think of it like a military strategist would. They call it a desperate position. It's that moment of extreme pressure that makes your thinking crystal clear and forces you to get strategic. This isn't failure. This is the moment you stop drifting and you start planning. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself here. What is your gut reaction? Does your heart start pounding? Do you immediately start thinking of excuses, figuring out who else you can blame? Or do you get quiet and start analyzing what happened? That immediate response, it reveals everything about your current strategy, or maybe your lack of one.
So you basically have two paths you can take. The emotional response, that's pure poison. Robert Greene said it best, an emotional response is the single greatest barrier to power because it just clouds your judgment. The strategic response, on the other hand, treats failure like information, like pure data. You analyze it, you plan, and then you act. That is the only road that leads to a comeback.
Which brings us to the very first battlefield you have to conquer, the one that's inside your own head. Look, before you can change your performance, you have to change your thinking. Any action you take on the outside is totally useless if your internal world is just chaos. You master your mind first, and the outside world will start to follow.
And here it is, the 3-step blueprint for mastering that inner world. Step 1, control your emotions. That's not negotiable. Step 2, you have to actively reprogram your subconscious mind. As Joseph Murphy taught us, your subconscious is where your habits live, and it believes whatever you tell it over and over again, which leads right to step 3. You install new beliefs through sheer, disciplined repetition. What you tell yourself with real feeling, again and again, that becomes your reality.
And the tool we use for that reprogramming? It's called auto-suggestion. Now, this isn't just wishful thinking. It's a very specific technique. It means feeding your subconscious definite, specific, constructive commands. Think of it like you're installing new software for your comeback.
And this is the end goal. I mean, Hill's words are just perfect here. The point of mastering your inner world isn't just to feel a little better. It's to go to sleep every single night knowing with absolute certainty that your focused thoughts are laying the foundation, brick by brick, for the success you are about to build.
Okay, so once your mind is a fortress, it's time to give that fortress its marching orders. We're shifting from mastering your mindset to defining your mission. This is how we cure that drifting mind we talked about at the beginning. We give it one single, dominant purpose to lock onto.
I really can't say this enough. A vague goal like, I want to do better, is totally useless. It has zero power. You need a definite chief aim. Why? Because a mind without clear direction will always wander into fear, confusion, and wasted effort. A clear direction is what gives your thoughts power. Without it, you're just burning mental energy and going absolutely nowhere.
So how do you actually do it? Well, here's the formula, straight from Napoleon Hill himself. First, be painfully specific, no gray areas. Second, set a hard deadline. Third, state exactly what you are willing to give in return, because nothing in this life is free. And finally, and this is so crucial, read it aloud every morning and every night. This is how you drive that goal deep into your subconscious, where the real work happens.
Now, with a strong mind and a clear mission, we get to the fun part, execution. But we're not just going to work harder, we're going to work smarter. We are going to apply 3 timeless laws of action to make sure that every bit of effort has the biggest possible impact. This one comes to us from the master strategist, Sun Tzu. Before you do anything else, before you innovate or try to get that promotion, you must make your current position impossible to attack. What does that mean at work? It means you master your core job duties so well that no one can find a single thing to criticize. Your competence becomes your fortress.
This bit of wisdom is straight from Machiavelli. After a slip-up in performance, you're going to be tempted to explain.
to promise, to argue your case. Don't do it. Resist that urge. At this point, your words are meaningless. Your actions are your only valid argument. Consistently delivering excellent work is the loudest statement you can possibly make, and it will silence your critics without you having to say a thing.
And now for a harsh reality, which is probably best shown by the story of Edison and Tesla. You know, Tesla was probably the bigger genius, but Edison was a master at getting the credit. So what's the lesson here? It is not enough to just do great work. You have to make sure your contributions are seen and that they are attached to your name. Your comeback has to be visible.
Now, all of this work comes together in the final phase, recreating your reputation. You've disciplined your mind, you've defined your mission, you've executed with precision. Now, you have to actively manage how people see you and become the author of your own story.
This quote from Robert Greene is basically the mantra for this final stage. It means you don't just fix a mistake, you deliberately replace the person who was associated with that mistake. And you do this by consistently performing new, competent actions until a new professional identity literally rises from the ashes of the old one. You're forging a new you.
And here's the big shift in thinking. See, most people have a reputation that is just passively given to them by others. You are going to build yours intentionally. You're moving from being just another character in someone else's story to being the narrator of your own.
So, let's get tactical. Here are 4 principles for shaping how people see you. First, use selective honesty. Admit to a small, harmless flaw. It makes you seem more human and it lowers people's guards. Second, let your results do all the talking. This just reinforces what we said earlier. It builds a reputation on proof, not promises. Third, associate with quality. The reputations of the people you're seeing with will rub off on you. And finally, cultivate an air of effortlessness. Master your craft so completely that your success looks natural. This projects confidence, not desperation.
And that really brings us to the heart of it all. Poor performance is just a temporary state. It's a moment in time that's already in the past. Your comeback, though, that's not something you just hope for. It is something you decide to build, starting right now with a new way of thinking and a definite plan. So the only question left is, what will you decide?